Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching my videos. We are talking about machine learning foundation concepts. Last video we talked about models. What are models? What is the recipe and how we equated the recipe to the models and how the recipe cooks the ingredients into the finished products and serves you on the platter. In this video, we are going to talk about another important topic which resonates on how this recipe is finalized. That process is called algorithm. So that's what we are going to see in this video. The algorithm, the chef that learns, because the algorithm is the learning process. The chefs use it to finalize his recipe and displays to the world. Let's jump to the video. Let's meet the chef. Who is the chef? The algorithm is the chef, as we have mentioned here. Till now, what we have seen, data. Data is the ingredients for the recipe or the dish to be prepared. Okay, so data, you get the ingredients. Data, again, how we saw, we get lot of types of data. It can be image data, it can be data in the tabular form, it can be any kind of data which is there from the original or the world around us. The data is collected from the world around us based on what kind of actions or information you need from the system. Model again we saw is the recipe, and we also saw what the recipe does. You give the ingredients to the recipe and it will give you a dish. Okay, that is the job of the model or the recipe. Without the recipe, the ingredients alone cannot convert into a dish. The recipe is a very, very important part. Okay, now the next important question is, who creates this recipe? Okay, so you have the recipe, but somebody has to make that recipe for the ingredients to be converted to the dish we require. So that's where we come to the algorithm. Algorithm is basically a process by which the machine learning learns, or the computer learns, the formula or the secret sauce to finalize the recipe based on the data you have given and what the results you have got from the earlier data you have provided from the world. And we also saw what is the model. Model is a scaled down originality of the world around us, right? And all models are wrong and some models might be helpful. The recipe may not be exactly what we want, but the recipe is useful for us to understand how the world works or a specific area of your interest works. The algorithm helps in creating or replicating the original world into the recipe or the model. Parameters. Parameters is actually the secret sauce or the combination which is added by the algorithm to the ingredients to get the final recipe. The ingredients, for example, if you're going to cook, you will have maybe vegetables, you will have maybe oil, you will have maybe dough. Okay, so you want to make a dish out of it. So what will the chef do? He will write, you have to boil the vegetables for 30 minutes. Oil should be sprinkled on the vegetables and the mixture to be mixed in the dough. So this might be the steps of the recipe, right? So this 30 minutes, or the oil should be sprinkled, or the mixture to be mixed. So what actions to be done with the ingredients, the process is called algorithm. Hope I'm able to explain to you clearly. This is the model. This is the final recipe. The vegetables is the ingredient. Oil is again the ingredient. Dough is again the ingredient. And you have the recipe. But there are little processes which are required and mentioned in the recipe. So you can ask, how did the model get this? How did the recipe know we should do it for 30 minutes and not for 40 minutes? So this process of learning, it has to be 30 minutes, is called the process is called the algorithm. Okay, that's what we are going to deep dive in this video. If you see this house price model, which I have mentioned on the right, so you have the price. Okay, so this price you give it as a data. What you do, you get lot of data. You get the area of the flat, you have the distance from the city center, and you have data based on your previous purchases. This area at this distance will go at this price. This area at this distance will go at that price. So you have hundreds of data from your past experience. You give all those, including the area and the distance and the price, to the algorithm. What the algorithm learns? The algorithm learns this W1, W2, B. It'll find out weights. These are all called weights or parameters, which exactly or very closely matches to all the data you have given it till now. Understand? So this W1, W2, B, this is gained by the algorithm and given it to the model. Once this W1, W2, B are finalized, like this 150, 8,000, 1 lakh are finalized, this becomes your model. This is your model. The algorithm finds the best numbers. That is the purpose of the algorithm. Price W1 into area plus W2 into distance plus B. W1, W2, W and B are the parameters. Parameter learning. Algorithm finds these best numbers, makes prediction accurate, close to accurate, because there are so many other parameters. It is not only these 3 parameters which will affect the cost of the flat, right? There can be a war, there can be suddenly price rises, there can be lot of other effects in the market which will change the price. But the majority of the prices are based on these parameters and this formula. So once the formula is fixed, as I mentioned here, this becomes the model. So in this case, the person who has given this data just needs to, if he gets a new flat, okay, he just needs to add the area and distance in this formula, and he will get what price he has to charge for that flat. How does the algorithm learn? Human asks the questions and you have the data or the examples which you give, and the algorithm learns and model predicts, and the output is the answer what we get. Humans give the question, data in way of examples, we feed it to the algorithm. Algorithm learns. So this is the most important part. How does it learn? Model predicts. So algorithm creates the model and model predicts, and the user gets the answer to the question. The algorithm learns in a variety of ways, which we will be deep diving in the next videos. In this video, I will just briefly tell you about 2 major types of learning. One is the supervised learning and the second is the unsupervised learning. So we will deep dive in the next upcoming videos of what is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning, and what is supervised learning. And supervised learning also has different methods of learning. There are 2 main major methods, which are the regression and classification. Don't worry about all these terms. I'm just introducing you to how does the algorithm actually learn. We will deep dive into each of the topics very elaborately for you to understand the topics very well. So I will just give you a glimpse of what we are going to see in the next video. We are going to see something called the supervised learning, which I mentioned in the previous slides. The most common machine learning types: learning with labels, like homework with an answer key. What is learning with the labels? As I told and we have seen in the examples, we give the price of the property, right? We give the area, we give the distance, plus we also give the price which we have seen in the past. This price is called the label. Okay, so the machine learning also has the label to understand what is going on, to make the model very close to what the price is expected for that area and for the distance. A homework given to a student with the answer key, right? You can see you have the question mark here, but you already know the answer, but the student has to find out what will fill up so that the answer is 8. That completes this small video on the algorithms, and I'm very sure you have clearly understood what the algorithm is all about and how the algorithm creates the model, and the model gives the output, whatever is queried by the user. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Meet you in the next video.